It's time for bookkeeping, beer, and BS.
I get asked a ton about like, what's the best CRM? Which CRM should I use? And I have a perspective, and I'd love to like kick around different CRMs that we've had good luck with or bad luck with and why it worked. But exactly to that point, there is no silver bullet CRM that I've found. They all have a different nuance to them. They all have things that they're better at or worse at, data that you can get easily, data that's really hard to get. And there's like a look and a feel to each one. And so much of it is, it's like, well, which one works best for you might not work best for me based on like how the hell my brain works, right? And so I try to like lay that out to everybody is like, here's the one that I like that's worked well for me. But it doesn't, you might open it up and look at it and be like, this doesn't make any freaking sense at all, right? Have you guys run into CRMs and like, I want to be careful that we're not throwing CRMs under the bus or anything like that, but have you run into CRMs that didn't fit well with how you guys run, or CRMs that you're like, man, this thing just like reads my mind?
Yeah, Google Calendar doesn't work as a CRM, just so you guys.
Oh, man.
Unless you're a one-man show.
Damn it. Unreal.
That business I bought in Flagstaff, they were still running from Google Calendar. I'm like, ugh.
Ouch.
Yeah. Anyway,
we're working on one right now that's really been helpful in so many ways. We had an application tracking system, then we had our CRM for clients and leads, then we had a phone system, Ring Central, then we had a database of resumes and now we've got it all into one sort of CRM/ATS system, and a lot more automation and a lot of other cool stuff we're working on. But it took an awful long time to find it, and it took a lot of patience, and it took a lot of asking of smarter people than me and people that had all kinds of different things they were using. I went into some Facebook groups I'm part of and just kept asking and looking and trying. And a lot of times in the past, I've just been like, okay, I'm finally going to pull the trigger on something because I have to, because I've been working so many hours finding this thing. And then I end up paying for something I don't want. And it's
Sean froze up. We lost you. We lost Sean at the end. Look, something unplugged. Something unplugged. But to what Sean was saying, because I kind of watched him go through this process, and I was like, oh, like he's got it dialed in. And in hindsight, it's like, oh, that was brilliant. Sean was like we get a rush in recruiting kind of like September-ish, August, September, because everybody needs that last hire or two for the fall, especially like holiday light folks. And Sean was already working on like figuring out what the CRM was gonna be during that fall push. And then he was able to, like, November and December slows way down for us in recruiting, and then mid-January it starts to pick back up. But he got to November when things slowed down, and he was already underway with his new CRM. It wasn't like okay, now start looking. Like, he had started looking while he was busy, so that when things slowed down, he was ready to like really start implementing it. On the bookkeeping side of our business, we weren't quite as thoughtful. Like, November does slow down. Actually, December is pretty slow for us in bookkeeping. We have a lot of people interested, and then they're like, sounds good, we'll get started at the beginning of the new year. It's like, all right, like, hurry up and wait. But we just implemented a new CRM on the bookkeeping side as well. And same thing, it's like, okay, well, we got to do this right now, because come January, February, March in a bookkeeping business, you can, everybody kind of knows what you would expect there.
I'm curious what CRM James uses. You got quite the business. What CRM do you guys use?
Yeah, so I was going to bring that up too, that, nowadays there's so many more CRMs than when all of us started. I remember when we started, it was CRMs that were geared towards more service companies like plumbers, HVAC, and we had to conform to try to make those work. Now there's industry specific CRMs that everybody can start, researching, doing demos with before January to make that big switch before. So we use Real Greens under WorkWave. WorkWave's starting to buy up all these other companies now. And so Real Greens was the best option, 7-8 years ago when we looked. And they've got great like mapping, routing from the office. Technicians can use iPads. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can do with it.
And that it sounds, I'm not familiar with that one. It sounds very green industry specific.
Yes. So you can track different multi-step programs. You can do, service calls. You can do all that. But our biggest thing when we weren't using it, some customers have 30 services. So how do you know when the next fungicide's coming up? How do you know if they've done their sprinkler winterization or their June checkup or July checkup for sprinklers? So that kind of housed it all as one. And you can set these notifications like, hey, this person didn't get their step 4. Make sure to do that before going to step 5 for fertilizing.
Hey, what's up, business nerd? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you learned a heck of a lot watching that episode. Do me a favor, subscribe right down here. And if you really like what you saw, you got more goods right here. Check out this one or check out this one and do this. Go subscribe. Appreciate you. Work smarter, work harder, go earn yourself some pride. Catch you on the next one.